So I think I finally found it. A Pyro tank build that can still end final arbiters in easily under a minute, like my other tank builds can do. All three of my classes so far have a build that has a lot better focus damage than my other builds and is able to take out like arbiters, for instance, much quicker, usually before they even do their axe phase when I'm soloing, and still be tanky enough to endure it and everything else in this game. Because I don't like to just make a build that I just only use for the arbiter. Which, I mean, if I were to do that, I would absolutely go max firepower, max crit build, all that, and I would end him in 10 seconds like all the speedrunners do. But I don't want to do that, because those builds suck. I'm sorry. But they really do everywhere on this. They require you to play like you're in Dark Souls everywhere else in the game. Which I'm not a fan of. I don't like one hit from a melee dude in a normal mission taking out half my health. Or if I get pushed into a crawler right when he's doing his stomping phase, it's a death sentence. It's instant death. I can't even survive 2 stomps from that thing if I were to have no resistance, no armor, and 200,000 health, which is nothing at level 75. And those Pyros, their health bar is so tiny, and their armor is so pathetic. They can't survive. A breeze would kill them. Anyway, I'm not about that, as you know. Now, I will say, this dude is probably the least tanky out of all my tank builds. Calling this guy a tank is still hard to do. I've done my best. You see, I still have Ashen Regalia, because I tried Ashen Wake, and I learned Ashen Wake is next to useless, because the meter range is not good enough for the AoE to be better. And my Scorched Zealot is all the AoE I need. For, like, I've learned on this build, Scorched Zealot bonus destroys AoE and elites instantly. But then for, like, the Arbiters and the other, like, just boss-only fights, I kind of learned to ignore my melee more and just go straight up for just racking up my volcanic rounds with Bullet Frenzy, which is an amazing skill node. It's much like Spectral Spike for the Trickster, except Spectral Spike stacks faster than Bullet Frenzy, but then gets capped. Whereas Bullet Frenzy stacks slower, which is why you'll see it still takes me a bit to kill the Arbiter. But it has no range to how much it can stack. And also it puts an icon on your health that shows it. It actually, there's a brief 1 second you get, if you get like what I'm doing now, meleeing, Feed the Flames, it does not get rid of Bullet Frenzy stacking, is the key. There's actually a lag period. Now, other abilities like Heat Wave, for instance, that's why I definitely don't run around Heat Wave, because Heat Wave takes too long and you will lose your bonus during the animation. Also, I still sometimes lose it in the Arbiter fight or elsewhere if I just get hit, if I get thrown back, that's just, I lost it. It's so annoying. But that's why I still have to avoid some things like that, although it's not the end of the world, because that's why I try to run a tank still, so that it's not, I can still endure everything too. Now let's just talk about, you saw, and by the way, just go back and pause the video as I say to see everything I use. You saw all my mods and all my stuff. It's not a finished build. Bullet Kindling and Captain Hunter are actually the 2 most useless mods on this guy, because the vast majority of my damage is strictly from the firepower getting stacked by the anomaly power and all that stuff. From the anomaly enhancement on my gun and the Death Renome and the Fortress, which buffs that too. It's really like Bullet Kindling and Captain Hunter obviously increase that damage, but it's only that damage. So I'm thinking in the future what I want to get. I definitely want to get I want to get rid of one of them for sure, for Power Assimilation. Because Power Assimilation still activates in this fight and would give me an insanely high instant firepower bonus in other like missions where there's lots of elites too. So that's why I wanted it. Yeah, strangely, that's the thing. I want anomaly power. It's much like my Trickster build again, where it's combining anomaly power and firepower is the key. And yeah, as you see, I take more damage for sure than this dude. But I'm still tanky enough to just let him hit me still. And I mean, my weapon leech is still insanely high. My Feed the Flames, instant full health too. And then I still have Damage Absorber, 20% base resistance, that then gets stacked by Fortress. So Fortress gives me my resistance. But yeah, I want to get rid of those 2 mods to get Power Assimilation and also Circle of Power. Because if you noticed, I'm missing that. When I get that with Fortress, that'll max out his resistance too. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like when I do that, his damage will either be better or basically be the same, and then he'll gain Circle of Power, so he's tankier everywhere else with, like, this exception.